In football, there is a phrase that goes, if they are good enough, they are old enough. And some coaches absolutely believe the dictum, expressing faith in young players to produce at a senior level. While 16 and 17-year-old kids frequently have the physicality to play senior football, it is much rarer for 14 and 15-year-old players to make the move. But on occasion, it does happen. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the youngest football players to go professional and perform for their club and country. Number 1. Theo Walcott, 17 years old. He was born in Stanmore, England. He joined the ranks as one of the youngest players to ever do it when he represented his country against Hungary in May 2006 at just 17 years old. At 17, there's only so much experience an athlete can gather. In Walcott's case, he had only 13 matches of senior football under his belt before he was tapped as a member of the England team for the Summer's World Cup in Germany. He's had a productive career since then. No doubt the experience he gained as a young kid at 17 helped him tremendously. Theo played for Arsenal for 12 years, logging 108 goals in 397 of his appearances. Eventually, after a brief 2-year stint at Everton, he found his way back to Southampton, the club that kick-started his professional career. Number 2. Ansuman Fati, 16 years old. Ansu Fati laced up his cleats and stepped out in front of a sea of bright lights at the ripe, distinguished old age of 16 years old. Fati and his exceptional talents rose to the challenge at the professional level. Most kids his age, understandably, would fold at the sight of a professional stadium and the media extravaganza that comes along with it. But not for Fati. He became the youngest player to score a goal and log an assist in a single match in La Liga against Valencia, helping rout his team to a 5-2 victory for Barcelona. If he felt any nerves, he did a pretty good job at hiding it. He may not be the youngest on this list, but Ansu holds a few records where he is still the youngest. He's Barcelona's youngest ever Champions League debutant. In a match against Inter Milan, he came in at the 85th minute of the game, scoring the winning goal just 1 minute later, making him the game's youngest goal scorer at 17. Number 3. Ki-Jana Hoever, 16 years old. Ki-Jana Hoever was 16 years old when he made history by joining Liverpool's FA Cup as the youngest player in the team and league history. The Dutch native was born in Amsterdam and came from an athletic bloodline. His father was an American football player. Ki-Jana was destined to become an athlete with the expectation placed on him since birth, having been named after the first-round pick in the 1995 NFL Draft, Ki-Jana Carter. Ki-Jana is signed by the Wolverhampton Wanderers, a club in England based in the city of Wolverhampton. With a name like that, the local government probably had no choice but to petition for a team to represent them. Number 4. Jack Wilshere, 16 years old. His quality in Arsenal's youth academy was so remarkable that the manager promoted him to the senior team merely at 16. Wilshere made his debut against Blackburn, besting Cesc Fabregas as the club's youngest ever league player. However, injury limited his playing time, and he appeared in 197 games for Arsenal before shifting base. Wilshere now plays for AGF in the Danish Superliga. Number 5. Aaron Lennon, 16 years old. The Leeds Academy product soared through the ranks and was promoted to the senior team. After coming on as a substitute in the narrow defeat to Tottenham Hotspur in August 2003, Lennon set the record for being the club's youngest ever player at the time. The winger impressed a number of Premier League clubs, and Tottenham was the first to cash in. Lennon spent a significant part of his career at White Hart Lane, making 364 appearances. He was also called up to the England national team. Lennon moved around, changing teams in the Premier League before settling down at Burnley. Number 6. Martin Ødegaard, 15 years old. Martin Ødegaard was 15 years old when he made his professional debut and the youngest footballer to play in the Norwegian top-flight league Tippeligaen. In May of 2014, he became the youngest goal scorer in his league and was an immediate difference maker for the club. Real Madrid, one of the most recognizable clubs in the sport, has a keen eye for scouting talent that would evolve and pay dividends for years. So, staying true to their reputation, they signed Martin, making him the youngest ever player for the club at just 16 years old. Since playing for Real Madrid, Ødegaard has been a bit of a journeyman. He's played for Heerenveen, Vitesse, Real Sociedad and Arsenal. As of 2021, he hopes to turn Arsenal into a long-term commitment and match the goals he's set for himself since. And at his age, he's got plenty of time to do just that. Number 7. Pelé, 15 years old. He's regarded as the greatest of all time. For those that knew him or followed his professional career since the age of 15, it didn't surprise anyone. On top of being the league's top scorer in 1957, he was the youngest player to play in the World Cup final at 17 years old in 1958. He showed the leadership of a savvy veteran, scoring 2 goals in a dominant 5-2 victory against Sweden. Pelé is the youngest winner of the FIFA World Cup, the youngest goal scorer in the FIFA World Cup, and the youngest to score a goal in the FIFA World Cup final, all at 17. Number 8. Freddie Adu, 14 years old. Freddie Adu was called the next Pelé. Talk about pressure. The Ghana-born superstar moved to the US in 1997 with the hopes that he would bring with him the joy of football and charm the American audience the same way he had for Europeans. Though it did not pan out the way many had hoped, Adu still made contributions to the game and only aided in the effort to grow it internationally. In 2004, at 14, when he signed with DC United, it made him the youngest American and youngest athlete to sign a professional contract. 3 months later, he was the youngest player in a major league match and the youngest Major League Soccer goal scorer in a 3-2 loss to the Metro Stars. Freddie represented the US Olympic team at the 2008 Summer Games. Number 9. Yeremy Pino, 18 years. Yeremy Pino was promoted from Villarreal's academy. He quickly established himself as a regular first-team member. Unai Emery rested the kid during the 2020 pre-season campaign, only for Pino to emerge as a dependable option for the club. When Villarreal reached the Europa League finals, he became the youngest Spanish player to start a major European final at the age of 18 years and 218 days. He was also the youngest player to win the competition. Emery praised him as a fantastic finisher. With 27 La Liga starts, the Spain international has 9 goals. He is also the youngest player in La Liga history to score a hat-trick in the first half. Number 10. Mauricio Baldiviso, 12 years old. Mauricio Baldiviso is the youngest footballer to play professionally. Mauricio was 12 years old when he made his debut for Club Aurora. It was all thanks to his father, the club manager, who placed him in as a substitute against La Paz in 2009. His father had no problem with throwing him into the deep end, demonstrating a pretty inspiring amount of confidence in his 12-year-old son. His career wasn't noteworthy beyond the unbelievable age at which he started his professional journey. He hasn't played since his contract with San Jose expired in 2018. But above all else, his durability and staying power in the league is an achievement unto itself. Mauricio's father, Julio Cesar Baldiviso, was a Bolivian national player. Which of these young footballers do you love watching? Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. That will be all for today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and hit the notification bell so you get an update whenever we upload a video. Thank you.